Disclosure. All information we have on these cases are public record. We are not making fun of anyone or anything. This channel is for awareness of cases and entertainment purposes only. Welcome back to our channel, Relative Detectives. And it's Renee's turn to talk, so I know this case. I don't know.
She knows it. As soon as I start talking, she's going to be like, oh my God. She's been trying to guess it for like the last week. And of course, I haven't given her any hints, but I'm like, as soon as I start talking to her, be like, oh man, I can't believe I didn't guess that. She knows what this is. So, have you ever seen, here we go with Criminal Minds again, because of course this is our favorite TV show. I love that show. Have you ever seen the episode where this girl kidnaps other women and gives them paralyzing drugs and dresses them as dolls and keeps them and plays with them and tries to keep them as friends?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I know it, but I don't. Well, I guess I'm going to find out because I really don't know a lot about the whole thing.
Yeah. So if you want to see that episode of Criminal Minds, it is season 5, episode 12, and it's called The Uncanny Valley. So I think that they've taken from this case and kind of twisted it into an episode for that show, maybe, because it's kind of similar. But this one is like so weird. Like, it's just so weird. It's like, we've talked about serial killers and all the stuff, but this one is just hella weird. Like, I don't know what would possess anybody to do the things that this man did. I mean, it just, who knows, but it's weird.
Crazy.
So we are going to be talking about Anatoly Moskvin. He was actually arrested in 2011 after 26 dolls were found in his home. So, of course, we're going to get into why there was 26 dolls in his home. Dolls. But it's pretty weird. I mean, this guy's just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So, Anatoly was born on September 1st, 1966. His parents were Elvira and Yuri. He was born in Russia in a town called, now, if I mispronounce this, I'm so sorry. We will put the town name up here so you can see it. But I think it's pronounced Nizhny Novgorod. So I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, but that's the town he grew up in.
To me.
So as a child, of course, here we go again. Smart as a damn whip. Like, what is with all these smart serial? Like, do you have to just be dumb to not be a serial killer?
I'm not a serial killer.
We're just over here being dumb. I don't know. It's just, what the hell? But they're all like smart and they do good in school and all the things. But he was smart. He did really good in school. He made good grades. There again, for the most part, he was a good kid. He did keep to himself a lot. He didn't have many friends. He preferred to read. He was just there doing his thing. He didn't want to be, out running around like normal kids, swinging on the swing set. And, he'd rather have a book in his hand in his room.
Boring.
So he was real smart as a kid, never had any troubles, any problems. Except for one day when he was 12 years old, something happened to him that I think either was a lie and he made this whole thing up, or it was something that really messed up his mind, if it really did happen. I mean, you just don't know, with people like this, if it happens or not, because they'll say all kinds of stuff and then,
try to get sympathy, and when they finally get caught and all that, they're like, but this happened to me.
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
Feel bad for me. This is
so everything that is in this episode is like the things that he's done are all from him, like from his mouth, like during interviews with the police and, things like that. Like, so you don't know if it's real. You don't know if he's telling the truth. I mean, he could be just batshit crazy and none of this really happened and he just wanted to do the things he did. Who knows? But when he was 12, he said he was out collecting recycling for the neighborhood. And I've heard different things on that. I've heard that he said that he was walking through a graveyard and come across a funeral. Like, I've heard that him and his friends were like out playing and they come across a funeral. I've heard different things, but I picked this one to use because this is one of the ones that he said or, somebody else has said.
Yeah.
So he was out collecting recycling for the neighborhood and knocked on a door and went in the home. And they were having a funeral for an 11-year-old girl. And her name was Natasha Vetrova.
They have a funeral in the house?
I mean, that's what this part says, yeah, that they're in the house, yeah. But then again, like I said, I've heard that he was walking through a graveyard and come across the funeral.
Yeah.
But, who knows which is true. So the whole family was gathered around this casket, with this little 11-year-old girl in it. And he was witnessing what was going on. Well, evidently, the family turned around and saw him standing there. They hadn't realized he'd come in the house. Saw him standing there and pulled him over to the casket. And the mother made him kiss this deceased little girl's forehead several times. And he said it felt like waxy and weird. But he says he was forced to kiss this little girl's forehead, multiple times. And then, not only that, somewhere, who knows where, the mother supposedly pulled 2 wedding rings from somewhere.
She said.
And yeah, she just whipped them out her ass right here in the middle of this funeral.
Just hang on.
So she pulls these rings from somewhere, who knows, and places one on Natasha's finger and one on Anatoly's finger. And she says to Anatoly, "Now you're married to my Natasha."
The bitch is crazy.
So,
maybe she's a serial killer.
Right? So he's like, what? Like he's confused. Like he doesn't know what's going on. He's 12 years old. Like why would you do that to another child? Like, it's said that Natasha passed away from a home accident. They were supposedly remodeling their house and she was taking a bath and stepped out onto a live wire and it electrocuted her and killed her. So that's, how they say she died. I don't, you really don't know. But
Why
that's
would they
what
just
it
be
says.
laying around?
I know. That's what I'm saying.
How did you not notice before you got in the bath?
I don't know.
Maybe the mom did it.
This is like late 70s. So, of course, codes aren't the same as they are today.
That's
this
true.
is Russia. So, I don't know like what their codes were compared to the U.S. I have no idea. But that's, what everything says. It's how she died. But, of course, he's like freaked out. Like, he's like, what is going on here? They've made me kiss this dead girl's forehead and now I'm married to her? Like, what? So, if this is really true, like, you could see how something like that would screw with a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Their mind's like...
It's like now, like when he goes into school and some girls are hitting on him, he goes, I'm married.
Yeah, wow, we're really, like, what?
Joe, talk to me, I'm married.
I'm married to a dead girl. Like, that's just so crazy. So, after this, he started having dreams about Natasha. Like, every night, she was coming to him in his dreams and talking to him and telling him things and, all this. Well, the dreams started scaring Anatoly. And he was having them so often that, I mean, he was getting scared. You know, he was really freaked out about it. So he ends up telling his parents.
So he hasn't told them?
No.
Like, hey, Mom, Dad, by the way, I got married while I was out there getting recycling.
Yeah.
Graduated. Like,
no. Way. He never said a word to anybody about it. So he finally, after these dreams, starts, you know, he gets so freaked out, he tells his mom and dad.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, his mom and dad are like, what the hell? You know, so they take him to the doctor, and the doctor says, oh, he's fine. There's nothing wrong with him. He just has a vivid imagination, and he's starting puberty. So that's what the doctor said. That was it. So they like took him home, and that was the end of that. So, of course, he keeps having these dreams.
And then the doctor be like, all right, that's the thing. Here's a $500 bill.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, look, you're going through puberty. $1,000. Thank you for coming by.
Real.
So, he's, you know, keeps having these dreams. He's still freaked out. Like, you know, of course, there again, if this is all true, I mean, if this really did happen. Mm-hmm. But he says that one night, Natasha came to him in a dream and told him that if he could get someone else's tooth and put it under his pillow,
the tooth fairy will come?
Yeah. He'll get money. The tooth fairy will come. So I guess Natasha's the tooth fairy. So if he puts his pillow or this tooth under his pillow, that the dreams will transfer to this other person, and he will be free of her for the rest of his life.
But they're married, so it's a divorce. She wants to get a divorce.
You're getting a divorce, and all you have to pay is with your tooth.
Somebody else's tooth.
Somebody else's tooth.
Can you imagine that nowadays?
No. That's crazy. But see, that's here again, that's why I kind of don't, I think all this is kind of, in my opinion,
bullshit.
I think all of this is bullshit, because honestly, I think he was just a nut job.
Yeah.
That did what he did, and then he did these interviews and came up with all this crazy shit in his mind. You know, that's my opinion. Anyway.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. So he gets a tooth from his classmate. Now here's another reason why I don't think it's true, because nobody knows how he got the tooth. There's no, in any research that I did, says anything about how he got this tooth from this classmate.
Unless the kid lost, and he's like, hey, can I see that? And he runs out.
I mean, you know, and you're like, by this time, I'm sure he's probably around 13 or something, you know. Who's going to give you their tooth in school?
Are you still losing
teeth at like 13?
Are they still losing teeth at 13?
I don't think so.
I think Nevaeh's is like gone.
Yeah.
Well, she still got a few, but.
Yeah, I don't think so. So I don't know where he got this tooth. But he gets the tooth, and he takes it home and puts it under his pillow, just like Natasha told him to in the dream. And supposedly, she was gone. No more dreams. He was totally free of Natasha. So that was the end of that era.
I was like, bullshit.
I know, for real. That's what I'm saying. I just don't see how, I mean, I don't know. Who knows? So by this point, of course, since all this has happened with Natasha, he is becoming obsessed with the dead, graveyards, you know, all the things in passing of life. Like, he's obsessed with it. So he ends up in his teens, graduating high school and all that. And he went to college at Moscow State University, or Moscow State University, however you want to pronounce it. He was known for being extremely smart. And they described him as being a genius, but very eccentric. Mm-hmm. So he was like, I mean, hella smart. Like,
apparently not smart enough for what he did.
Right? So he studied Celtic history, folklore, languages, and linguists. And of course, he had a fascination with the dead, cemeteries, the occult. He actually even wrote a dictionary. Like, who writes a dictionary?
Well, me, half the stuff I can't
You know
tell.
what I mean? Like, he's like hella smart over here writing a dictionary. And it says that he had like 60,000 books in his home library. So he's like a reading fiend over here.
Yeah.
He ended up graduating. He is actually a linguist, a philologist, and he can speak 13 languages.
My gosh.
Yeah. Like, he's hella smart. So he worked as a journalist for newspapers and publications and stuff like that after this. He never married. He never dated. He just always kept to himself. But at some point, and I'm not real sure why, he wanted to adopt. And he always wanted to adopt a daughter. So it's like, okay, you know, if the Natasha thing really happened, I think this part probably stems from that. Mm-hmm. Like, just being screwed up in the mind, and, you know, Natasha was a girl and that whole situation happened. Like, I need to adopt a daughter.
Yeah.
I mean, his parents tried to talk him out of it, but he did it anyways. He applied and all the things. And of course, he got turned down because he didn't make enough money to raise a child. So he never did get to adopt. So he never had children, never got married, never dated, anything like that. He lived with his parents this whole time. But his parents were big travelers. Mm-hmm. So they were like gone a lot. So they really didn't know, you know, what he was doing, mm-hmm. or, you know, any of that. But in 2005, Anatoly got his dream job. He was hired to list graves in 700 cemeteries across where he lived at.
That was his dream job.
That was his dream job, because he was like into cemeteries and the dead.
Why didn't I just become a mortician?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
you're really into that.
Yeah.
Just go into that. Start embalming bodies and
stuff. Yeah,
but
I mean, you know, you got sick minds. You're not going to do something regular. You know what I mean?
Regular ass job.
You don't want a regular ass job. Regular ass. So he's recruited to, you know, list these 700 cemeteries and all the graves in them. It says it took him 2 years to complete. And he said he walked the entire thing.
Oh, hell, I didn't catch me.
Like 2 years of walking through cemeteries, recording graves. Yeah. And he was loving it. He was loving every minute of it. He said he slept in hay bales, in barns, on top of the graves themselves.
Ew.
Like, he just lay there on top of somebody's grave
he said,
take
scoot
a nap.
over, bitch.
Scoot over, Gran.
Yeah.
Like, scoot over, Grandma. I'm laying down. He said he walked 18.6 miles a day.
Goodness gracious.
Going through all these cemeteries.
Mm-mm.
He said, now, I don't get this, but he said he actually slept in a casket once that was being prepared for a funeral. But, I mean, I don't know how things back then worked, but I'm pretty sure that people just didn't leave caskets out in the middle of a graveyard. You know what I mean? Like, the casket's at the funeral home with the person in it, and then they take it to the graveyard and bury it.
Yeah.
So, like, what? I don't understand where he comes with that, because why is there just like an open casket with nothing going on around it, sitting in the middle of it?
This here.
Yeah. Like, that don't make no sense to me.
A casket is not comfortable to lay in.
No. Well, who knows? I've never laid in one.
You never laid in one?
No.
I have.
Have you really?
We had that one down in the basement.
Oh, that's right.
Ryan got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not comfortable.
Yeah, I'm not laying in a casket. But that's why I think there's so many little things like that just don't add up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like just a little comment here and there that's like, what? That doesn't make any sense. So how could this be true?
Yeah.
So he said that he even drank from puddles in the cemeteries after it rained.
Oh, that's
because
gross.
it brought him closer to the dead. Like I ain't drinking your grandma's water juice stuff.
The hell?
I know, right? That's so. I wouldn't drink out of a puddle in my own backyard. That's like dirt, and we'd have to be in like a dang zombie apocalypse for that shit.
Oh no, I ain't even doing that. You better hide me, bitch. I ain't drinking it. If it ain't from a filtered thing, I ain't drinking it.
Right? It's just so weird. But during this time that he was walking these cemeteries and recording all these graves, he had been questioned by the police several times about desecration of graves. And of course, he never got arrested or anything because of his credentials and what he was there actually doing. So if he did do that, they didn't bat an eye because he had, proof of, that he was hired to do this. And so
he pulled out his wallet.
Yeah.
Grave searcher. Or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah. So they never did anything. He just kept doing what he was doing. But those works that he did have never been published. Like he did all that work and recorded all those graves, and that has never been published. So I don't know where that went. But see, that's the thing again. So those works have never been published. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So did he really get hired to do that, or did he just
do it for funsies?
Want to do it? Yeah, for his funsies. Like who knows?
Motherfucker's crazy.
Just a little here and a little there. Like you just don't know. It's just weird.
Thank you.
From 2006 to 2010, blah blah. He worked as a freelance correspondent for the newspaper in his town. So that's what he was doing for money. He was actually finally arrested on November 2nd of 2011 for desecrating graves. So they caught him finally desecrating graves, I guess. I'm not sure exactly how they caught him doing it, or how they got wind of it, but they got him for it. And so they went to search his home, and they found a little more than they were bargaining for to find. So they go in there thinking they're looking for things from desecrated graves or evidence that he did this to the graves.
Desecrated means he's like he destroyed them.
Vandalized them.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Or like digging them up.
Yeah, digging them up.
Or stealing things off of them.
Like a ring or jewelry.
Yeah,
okay.
I just want to make sure that's like whatever you do to that grave, stealing from it, taking the headstone, digging it up, like spray painting it, just whatever like that. That's a desecration of a grave.
Just to make sure that my brain was on the right word, right definition.
So, yeah. They thought they were looking for that kind of stuff. So they go in, and they find 26 dolls in his home.
Or
Dolls.
Oh.
So they're like, why does he have this weird doll collection? This is odd. So they also found, while they were looking, nameplates and pictures of disinterred bodies and things from graves, what they were looking for in the first place. But he also had a book on how to make dolls.
Yeah.
So here he has this doll collection and then this book on how to make dolls. So they're like, what? Dude's weird. So,
it's weird.
I'm not saying making dolls is weird. mean, I liked Barbies as a kid, but, it's like...
I still like my dolls. I like my Bratz dolls.
Right.
Okay.
So, these dolls turned out to be bodies of girls between the ages of 3 and 25. So what this sick mother was doing was going and digging up bodies and making dolls out of them.
Yeah.
So, of course, they interviewed him. And he agreed to tell the police how he did this. Like...
Yeah. Sure, let me tell you about it. So, first of all...
he's just thinking it's totally normal and it's fine and he's done a good job. Okay, I'll tell you.
In Russia.
Dude, it's like the 2000s, my man. It's like, look, that's the it thing in Russia. What the heck?
Dude, weirdo ass.
Yeah. So he dug up these children and girls within the span of 20 years. He was doing this.
Oh, I didn't know it was 20 years.
It was 20 whole years he was doing it. And this is what he's telling the police. He dried out the bodies with salt and baking soda.
Ew.
Like they did
the mummies?
The mummies in ancient Egypt. And I'm sure in ancient Egypt they had, even though it was way back before this, I'm sure they did a lot better job than this guy did. But he said he would dig the bodies up and then take them and hide them somewhere and dry them out. And then when he got them dried out with the baking soda and the salt, he would bring them home.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Why not just do it all at home? I don't understand why I told wait. Maybe the smell?
I don't know the smell.
Well, they're already embalmed.
They're already embalmed, but you're still going to have, you're going to have leakage from everywhere. They're embalmed, but, you're still going to have a smell. That's decomp.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just because your blood's gone doesn't mean your skin and organs aren't decomping.
Yeah.
It's going to stink.
That's true. I forgot about that.
So, of course, he dried them out like he was, Tutankhamun. I can't even say that. King Tut. We'll say that. King Tut. Tutankhamun. That's how you say his name. So, he would bring them home and make them into dolls. He put their belongings, if there was anything in the grave with them, he would put those belongings inside their body cavity.
I didn't know that.
And then he would also, the police, when they discovered these bodies, they moved one of them and it started playing music.
Ew!
So he actually took some of them and put music boxes inside their body cavities.
Oh my God.
So they would actually make noise or whatever.
You move my body, Metallica. Darkness!
Yeah. Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. I'd be like, not a music box. Put something in there good. Like, let's do Freebird. Just put guitar solo. Yeah. Oh gosh. So they're like, what the hell? This is crazy. He said that he felt bad for the children. And that's why that he did what he did. Because he thought they would feel more comfortable in a warm, loving home than being in the ground.
But he doesn't have a warm, loving home.
To him, he did.
Motherfucker.
To him, he was doing a good job taking care of them. So he searched the obits for children for their obituaries in the paper.
I was like, what the fuck is an obit?
Yeah, obituary. He searched the paper for obituaries of children, and that's how he figured out.
He only went after girls, right?
Yes, no, there was no boys, it was all girls. Because he had that fascination with, wanting to adopt a girl.
Yeah,
and then the whole
Natasha.
Natasha thing in the beginning. So it was all girls. But he has said that he didn't have a sexual
I was just
attraction
about to ask that.
to any of this. He viewed them as his children. So he says there was no sexual anything to it.
Why don't you just go buy a doll? Not like, why go for human? Like, that's what I'm like.
Yeah, I know. It's so weird. So he searched the obits, and he said he would wait for the child to speak to him. So he would be looking for these. Yeah, you're pulling a me.
I did it. Pick me.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
he would wait for him to speak to him through these obits. And then he would go to the grave of this child that he had seen in the obituaries. And he said he never took a child without their permission. So what he would do was go and lay on their grave and wait for them to give him permission.
Okay, you can take me now.
Yeah.
That's true. I do the same.
And that's another thing. You're out there digging up bodies. Do you know how long that would take you to stand there in a cemetery
How
and
the hell
dig
did
up
nobody
a body?
see?
Yeah.
Don't they have like security people for the?
I mean, you would
cemeteries?
think. I don't know. I don't know.
Like,
I mean, nowadays, well, not really. I guess if you're up in the backwoods somewhere, there's not going to be a security guard walking around the. I mean, the more famous ones, like the ones in New Orleans and things like that, they do, but not like just regular backwoods cemeteries don't. So I mean, who knows? He did this for 20 years and nobody ever saw him doing it.
Yeah, because that's going to take hours to be hand digged.
Yeah.
Because it's 6 feet?
It's supposed to be 6, I think.
That's
Yeah. But that would take you forever.
Mm-hmm.
But he always hoped that he could bring them back from the dead at some point through like black magic or science. So he felt like he was rescuing these kids and he was going to bring them back to life.
What the fuck is wrong with him?
I know. But he really couldn't keep them from decaying.
Yeah.
Like no matter what he did. So when they would start to decay, he would wrap them in cloth
Mm-hmm.
and then put rags inside the bodies to fill them out again.
He's stuffing them.
To fill it out because you're decomposing, you're shrinking, So he would put wax on their face and then put like makeup on them, put wigs on them, paint their fingernails and put colorful clothes on them and all that kind of stuff. Like, he's making the dolls out of it. I mean, it's crazy.
Dude's got some issues.
Yeah. He talked, read, sang, watched TV.
He said, watch this.
Yeah. Like he was literally treating these girls like real people, like his own
Did you take
kids.
him out shopping?
No, I mean, they stayed in the house. You can't. And that's another thing. She just said, what did he do? Take him out shopping? Well, how did nobody see him carrying a dead body? Especially if he's taking, okay, I can see a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
They're small. But like if he's taking somebody that's, 20 years old, you've got a grown adult human.
Can you imagine dragging me into the house?
I mean, who's not seeing him?
Unless it's like really late at night and everybody's asleep.
I don't know. He had to have some way of doing it if nobody saw him doing it. Because, that'd be like obvious.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. But he even celebrated their birthdays. Because of course he knew all their birthdays and all their names and all that stuff. So he celebrated their birthdays, each and every one of them, when their birthday rolled around.
I mean, I'm not saying what he did was nice, but that's nice.
Yeah. Well, there was even one set of parents that did not blame him for what he did because they said that he treated their daughter with respect and treated her very well. And they did not, weren't mad at him for doing it. Yeah. Yeah.
Them parents got mental
Mhm.
issues.
So he ended up being diagnosed with schizophrenia. Yeah. So
I could see that, yeah.
they deemed him not able to stand trial.
Horse shit.
So they took him from jail to a psychiatric hospital where they said, he did have paranoid schizophrenia. I think it was paranoid schizophrenia.
I could see that because he was saying, he would wait until they talked to him and, Natasha, all that stuff. I mean, that's what schizophrenia is. It's like they hear the voices.
Yeah.
And, oh, my
So,
gosh.
yeah, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. He tried to appeal, or his lawyers did for him, try to appeal everything multiple times. But the doctors would keep going back and, saying, no, he's not fit. No, he's not fit. No, he's not fit. So he is still, to this day, in a psychiatric hospital.
Oh, shit.
He's 58 years old. Most everybody we've done so far has died.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's still alive, and he is in a psychiatric hospital. 58 years old.
Just for some dolls.
I mean,
why?
Why would you dig up people?
I mean, how my thing is okay, my daughter dies, we bury her. I guess, I don't know, how long does he wait until, does he, wait a grace period after they're buried to go dig them up? Or is it
well, I mean, it says he was watching the obits or reading the obituary, so I don't know.
Because, if for me...
It couldn't have been too long.
Yeah, because I was thinking, and me, if, I had a daughter and she died, I would, every day go to the grave. And if, I would then at the point, I'd be like, what the fuck happened?
Well, when you first do one, it's dug.
Yeah. So
I'm thinking he had to go, pretty soon. While it was still dirt before the grass grew up over it and all that stuff. So if he's watching the obituaries and he's seeing these children, pass away, he's going within the week and digging them back up if they give him permission.
So weird.
That's so weird. But he had 26 dolls in his house, and he did it over a span of 20 years. So, I mean, that's just
that's one.
It'd be a 1.5 a year or something. Yeah. So it's not he was out there, digging up somebody every night. So it took him a while to get everybody. Yeah.
Weird.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to think of why would he go, why, okay, you get one, why do you need another one?
Well, I guess they decompose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
it's kind of like you're getting a new doll. That one's broken and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's like when you have a collection.
Then why do you not get rid of it?
I don't know.
That's another thing too. I would say no, whatever. But it's this one's starting to get broken, all that stuff. Let me get rid of it and get a new one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I guess he just wanted to keep because he felt
bad. Yeah. To him, he felt bad for them. Their parents put them in the ground and treated them bad, so he was getting them out.
Well, how?
Giving them a good spot to be instead of.
What do you want the parents to turn them into dolls and keep them forever? Stuff them, put them in the corner.
Who knows?
Bring them out for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
That's awful.
I mean, that's
so bad.
Is that what you want from the parents? Some of these people can't avoid death. I mean, shit happens to them.
Mm-hmm. It's just so weird. It's just so weird. Why would you do it? Of course,
we'll never.
Thank goodness I don't have schizophrenia and I'll never get it.
That you know
Knock on wood.
I might not be here. You might just be sitting here talking to yourself.
I'm doing this video totally alone. Kill them. Listening to this. Oh my gosh. Well, that was the story of Anatoly Moskvin. Wow. The doll maker.
I remember that episode. Yeah. I remember all that.
Because I think they had, like, in the episode, they had the IV in the arm, and she was like,
Yeah,
like, moving
they
her
couldn't
fingers.
move. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew you knew the story,
Yeah.
but I didn't know.
I didn't
if you
know, like-
knew, like what really happened.
Because we were
to
talking about that when we were, we
Uh-huh.
were somewhere or whatever. And, we were talking about that because we were talking about starting a YouTube and we talked about this case.
And I'm going to say this. We're going to put pictures of him in here, but I'm not going to have Kaylor put pictures of the dolls.
Yeah.
If you want to look it up, you can.
Yeah,
I mean, you can Google it.
I remember
But
showing you
I'm
pictures.
choosing not to use those, because it's weird.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you want to go look at them, you can. But
At your own
yeah,
warning.
exactly.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Some of that, I mean, when you look at something, I've seen the photos. When you look at the photos, you don't, it's like if you just looked at it and been like, what the hell is that? Until somebody tells you what it is.
I know, yeah.
It gives you like that weird feeling.
I mean, in the photos, they look like weird dolls. I mean, they do. Like it's not like looking at a human person.
Yeah.
But it's once you know what it is, like she said, it's like, ew, what the hell? And you're all weirded out,
You know what I just thought of? You know how he said he would put stuff in their bodies and everything? You know those little Russian dolls that you take and it would be smaller and smaller and smaller?
Yeah.
I wonder if he's doing it because we've got one because we had a Russian exchange student that stayed with an exchange student and he brought us one from Russia. I wonder if that was kind of like what he was. I mean, in a way, that's kind of like what I thought. Like it was just like one of those you just open and it keeps small and small and small.
Yeah, I thought the music box thing was weird.
Oh yeah, I would totally have like some crazy song
I
playing
know,
inside of me,
too.
like just like Metallica, "Sad but True." The song is stuck in my head. I would have like some crazy stuff.
Yeah,
I know that guy's weird. He's a weirdo.
So that was our weird ass story today.
It's a short one.
I didn't put any disclaimers or anything in there because we weren't talking about like actual murder, but
blood, guts, blah,
Yeah.
blah.
but it was a weird one.
Yeah, that one's. I think it's like mental weird.
It is. Yeah,
Like
it
that's
is.
like just only way.
Because I mean, it's not a cool thing to do. Like that is not a cool
It's not
thing
a
to
hip
do.
thing.
Yeah,
man.
it's not a hip thing to do to go dig up bodies. But he didn't technically murder anybody.
Yeah.
So it's like,
He's just a weird ass.
he's just a weirdo. Like, I hate that the families, like, had to, go through that. Like, somebody messed with their loved one. That really sucks.
Yeah.
I hate that. But, I mean, like I said, at least he wasn't murdering people, I guess.
Yeah.
If you can look at the bright side of something like that, So,
Whatever.
yep.
Do you, boo boo?
Crazy ass Anatoly.
Anatoly.
Thanks for watching our video, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye bye.